Did you hear about Chucky? What about Chucky? What about Chucky? I know there was something was that he. Oh, okay. You know what? There we go. This is what I'm talking about right here. Firewolf Gaming. You just earned yourself a clip on the Clip channel. You're right. This is working. Okay, so let's start off with this. Just a little fun idea that we can run into. Thank you, Firewolf Gaming, for this. Okay, now let me composure so we can start the clip off like if I thought of it from the beginning. Okay. All right, so diving into our first topic here today, guys. I saw this thing and I prepared it myself for the stream on my own. I remembered this. We had Devin Sawa, who you know is one of the stars of the Chucky TV series, RIP. It is now gone. It has ended after 3 seasons. We're still going to get a Chucky movie somewhere down the line. That's what Don Mancini, the creator, confirmed, but there hasn't been much updates on that and whatnot. But it looks like we have an idea for what season 4 was going to be about, and I found it to be pretty interesting. So let me look it up here. Devin Sawa. Well, let me see if I can just look it up. During an interview, was letting us know what the idea was going to be. Here we have with the direct. They have it exclusive, and it looks like season 4 was going to take place entirely on a cruise ship. Okay, so far, not a bad idea. I like this idea of a cruise ship. Can't think of many cruise ship horror movies out there, but that's a perfect setting, right? You're in one location, you're stuck there, you can't really seem to move about. Have you guys ever heard about the cruise ship where the toilets stopped working and the people had to poop in bags? That's a real thing that happened. That was crazy stuff. That's why Papa will never be on a cruise ship, I'll tell you that. But it was the details about what was going to go down. So here we go. He said, I know exactly what it would have looked like. I heard the pitch and I heard a detailed pitch of what it was, but I can't say anything because I don't know if Don Mancini is going to do it. Here's the thing. Chucky's going to live on. He's been around since 89. Will I go back to being in Chucky? I don't know. Maybe not. Where does he get to the part? Okay, here we go. I remember he had one idea of doing Chucky on a cruise ship that didn't go. And I was supposed to play the captain. Remember, Devin Sawa plays a random character every season. He was twin brothers in the first one. Second season, he was a priest. And then in the third season, he was the president. And I died by sharks. So there would have been sharks around this cruise ship. And like that would have been great. It would have been amazing. But you know, Don's got a twisted mind, and you'll see Chucky again. I hope that he kind of figures a way to get this particular story, that story that I heard, up and going. Now, I have many thoughts about these kind of ideas because it's controversial, I know, but I'm just being honest as a Chucky fan and as a lover of this franchise. There is a part of me that is now starting to lean, and I know this is blasphemy to say, especially since I have so much respect for Don Mancini and what he's done with this, but there is a part of me that's like, maybe it's time to hit that reboot button. Maybe it's time to give Don Mancini a little less power into the story or what's going on, because yes, the cruise ship idea is cool and fun, but it's also just such a small gimmicky idea. I want Chucky to push the envelope or go back to being scary. This isn't the first time he's had something like this. There was also a Chucky train movie that was being thought about. Let me see if I can find the articles for that. But let's see. Yeah. There was a time that another idea was Child's Play on a train. Freddy versus Chucky, Don Mancini dreams. Freddy versus Chucky would be awesome. Don't know how you do that, but here was another one where the notion of Chucky on a train. I thought it would be interesting to do somewhere. You've got this archetype or certainly stereotypical notion of kids who always say the doll is alive and he's doing this, but the kid befriends an old lady who's also on the train. Like the old lady is the only one who will listen to this kid, and she's like, okay, tell me what you're thinking. I believe that you believe, and let's investigate it. As the story goes on, it turns out the old lady has early onset Alzheimer's, so ain't no one gonna believe that old lady either. There's just something, another reason with other people who aren't listening to her, but she turns out to be a charmed confidant of Chucky. So this story is for sure never happening. Bro just gave away the plot twist. Okay, so if you see Chucky on a train, just know you can't trust an old lady there with him. And so I don't know. It's just that kind of stuff. I'm still down for whatever Don Mancini does, because even if I don't love, okay, you know what? This is what I'll say. I'm down with Don Mancini still creatively being involved, but I heavily feel he needs to hand over the director's chair to someone else and let them add more visionary style. I think about movies like Bride of Chucky, where that's a great Don Mancini idea. It's like, hey, how about we do Chucky with the Bride of Frankenstein mentality? Give him a wife, Tiffany, and Tiffany's a cool character. And Bride of Chucky is just it's the most stylistic movie of the entire franchise. It's so great to look at. And even that opening sequence when Chucky's being pieced back together. Oh, I loved it. Loved it. But I feel like stuff like that has been severely missing, an artistic eye into Chucky, giving it that visual flair. Because Don Mancini still got them cool ideas. Don't get me wrong. Season 3, where he was making Chucky old and Dembala had forsaken him, cool idea. But then also, Chucky got his balls grabbed. So we had cool old man Chucky killing, but then Chucky had to turn his head and cough. Why are these plastic, Chucky? You make kids with these? It's stuff like that. This is a give and take a little bit, but all the respect to Mr. Mancini, I will say that. So I don't know. Cruise ship idea could have been cool. I doubt then maybe that's what will happen in the movie. We have no idea. I'm still waiting for that update. I'm thinking we're probably not going to hear anything come October just because of the spooky season, maybe something like that. But he said in several interviews that they're thinking about doing it. So let's hope we get it done. You guys let me know, would you have liked the Chucky on a cruise ship